small detour from some of the stuff that we were teaching on. I was going to do Matthew 23 today. Don't feel like it. But I came across a message that I preached a while ago, and it was called "I'm Not Okay." I'm not okay. And the reason that I think that sometimes it's good to really drive home the Christian nature, what we should be, how we should conduct ourselves as Christians, as believers. We should know this. This should be something we're reminded every freaking week. Because I'm sorry, like, if we were doing a good job of it, we wouldn't need to be reminded. We could talk about the other things. But because we fell in these areas, and it's going to happen as we grow and mature until we come to the place of maturity, we're going to struggle in these areas. But today I felt more kind of pulled and inclined to talk about, like, I'm not okay. Now, I've preached this before, but when you go through a few extra battles, it changes your perspective of I'm not okay. It changes it. All right? How many people in here can honestly say, I don't even need to raise some hands, to be honest with you. Probably everybody in here could. To be like, this week I'm not okay. That I'm dealing with something. I'm going through something mentally and emotionally. I'm battling something on the inside of my mind and my heart. I'm dealing with depression. I'm dealing with insecurity. I'm dealing with a physical sickness and ailment. I'm dealing with some things that's hitting my family. I'm dealing with some things that I can't defeat. No matter what I speak, declare, pray. No matter if I go in my prayer closet. It doesn't matter if I fast. It doesn't matter what I do. This thing is not shaking. This thing is not leaving. I can't. Or have you ever been in a situation where no matter how much you try, you can't change it. You can't make it better. It feels like you're absolutely helpless. Like you're absolutely helpless. I want to talk about that stuff. I want to engage that. Because here's the thing. You come to church and you come to church and you put the mask on that I'm okay, then I failed. You should be able to come to church and be like, I'm screwed up, I'm bricked up, I'm not alright. So today I want to address the I'm not alright. I'm not alright. And see, that's okay to say. You shouldn't be condemned for saying I'm not good. You shouldn't be damned for saying that I'm not okay, Gary. You shouldn't be like, man, I'm so scared to open up about where I'm at. See, there's many times that, like where I battled with depression and stuff, and sometimes I still get sad boy head. Like I still get dumb brain sometimes is what me and Rebecca call it. Sometimes I get really down in the dumps and stuff, and I'll think of things of my past and things I've been through and some traumas I've experienced and some abuse that I went through and some things that it's like you just relive the echoes. Even though you're not going through it, even though you're not dealing with it right now, it's like the echoes. And no matter how much, no matter what you do, no matter what you turn to, you could drink, you could smoke, you could have sex. No matter what you try to turn to stop the pain or stop the thinking, it doesn't help. In the moment you're good, but then it just comes back even in a stronger wave. And it's like no matter how far I try to run, I can't run from it. The thing that I try to get people to understand is that we do have to be honest with where we're at, not where we want people to believe we're at. And that's the issue with church, is that we want people to think that we're at this place. Now you could be at this place, but still be screwed up somewhere along here. You could still be take for example Elijah. I don't see any man walking like Elijah did. This man be like, all right, fire, and like. You see what I'm saying? Like, this man did miracles, outran chariots. Like this man performed signs. I'm not going to say one of them, but he resurrected a child in a way that if he did today, he'd go to prison.
Yes.
He laid on the kid. Anyways. But I'm just saying, like, when you see a man like that, and then someone says, mark my words, I'm going to kill you by the end of the day, or this time tomorrow. And then see that man run and go completely spiral. He was at this place, but then he became at this level in his mind. See, everyone thinks that just because you're anointed and gifted, you don't have this demon that whispers in your ear, or your past, or your echoes, or your struggles, or your weaknesses. They think that when you walk to this level, that all this stuff disappears. This is the tomfoolery that people teach. When you're here, you have an increased warfare. Because now you're more open, you're more aware of things, you're more knowledgeable, you're more mature. You see things, you can sense it, you can discern it, you feel it, you know it. So it's like things are heightened more up here. So then you feel at a deeper level at this place, I feel like. Like the closer you get with God, I feel like the deeper you feel things.
Yes.
The more aware you are on things, the more you can see and experience, the more you're like, that's not good.
Yes.
And then this is where people think you're crazy. Because usually people that you're discerning correctly about will say you're just crazy because that's their diversion.
Yeah.
Go to.
So here's the thing. I want to encourage you. It says in Romans 8:26, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought. But the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. There's just times, man, where I feel like, have you ever just been in a place you were so broken, so screwed up, so messed up, that you didn't know what to say? You didn't know what to say. And all you could do is take in a deep breath and release that, and that's it. In Isaiah 41:10-13, it says, "Fear not, for I am with you." We always exclude the fear not. We don't teach what fear not means. We don't drop that home. We just skim over. Fear not. Let's get to the meat of the scripture, right? Let's just get to where it says, "I am with you." That's the meat of it, right? Well, the most important, impactful part is the fear not. He is telling you, you don't have to be afraid anymore. You don't have to worry about this situation or this trial that you're going through. For I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. He's reminding you who he is. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Behold, all who are incensed against you shall be put to shame and confounded. Those who strive against you shall be nothing, shall perish. You shall seek those who contend with you, but you shall not find them. Those who war against you shall be as nothing at all. Pretty much saying, I'm removing the enemies. Now, I know he was talking to Israel. I know who he was talking to. But I'm using this today more as an encouragement for you. So I want to make the difference. I understand the person, place, people, thing that he's talking to. But today I just want to encourage you for the same thing that he says. These are promises. I want you to hear, I will help you. That is a promise. That is him saying, I am going to do this. I will do this. And he can't. And God is what? Not a liar. All right? He says, I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Proverbs. The heart of the man's plans his ways, but the Lord establishes his steps.
Yes.
Philippians says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer, supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart, your mind, in Christ Jesus. In Nahum, it says, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. Psalm 61, 1-4. Hear my cry, O God, and listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you. When my heart is faint, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. For you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the enemy. Let me dwell in your tent forever. Let me take refuge under the shelter of your wings. See, I feel like we never really get to a place where we just, I was talking to someone the other day, and one of the things, and this is a very common, I guess, discussion that I have with a lot of people, especially when I'm ministering out in the world. They don't know how to pray. They don't know how to pray. They feel like it needs to be this, ye, thy, thus, thou, cometh, and kind of lie to God, be like, everything's fine, everything's great, you're good, I glorify your name, thank you for everything, and it's like, but I try to explain to people, when you go to God, you need to have that conversation. You need to be like, this is where I'm at, this is what my issue is, this is my request, this is what I'm dealing with, these are the people that I'm struggling with, and it's either help me have the compassion for them or strengthen me to know what I need to do, how I need to handle these people. Okay, so every single person is dealing with someone that's difficult. Husband, spouse, soon-to-be spouse, family members of that spouse. So it's like, sometimes we deal with things. Sometimes we're dealing with some difficult religious people. When you're dealing with legalism and fundamentalists, you are going to lose that battle. If you're dealing with a legalist Christian person or fundamentalist, pretty much a legalism is like long hair, Men can't have long hair, no beards, you gotta wear suits, you have to speak in tongues. If you don't speak in tongues, you're going to hell, you don't have the Spirit. You have to give 10% of your earnings. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you got all these loops that you gotta go through to be a Christian, but your lifestyle is the last resort. When Paul teaches more about your lifestyle than he does about the traditions of man. It's more about your lifestyle, what you do, how you act, how you conduct, how you love, how you forgive, how you show mercy, how you show grace. Those are the things that he drives. One of the things I would say, especially like in some of the situations that I've been in where I've dealt with some things in, mine and Rebecca's relationship with people, family, even with churches that will come against us, or like things like people will say, or I've actually I got treated uglier by Christians than. Now, granted, I know I'm spicy sometimes, and I do bring it on myself. I do bring it on myself. It is my fault sometimes. I am a little troublemaker. I understand. I can't be like, why are they acting like that? Well, I mean, I am calling out the nonsense, so it kind of comes with the territory. Now that we said that, you made that peace.
You step on their toe, they break your leg.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Like one of my favorite stories is the alabaster jar. Here's why. It was a woman with an issue. It was a woman with a past. It was a woman that was deemed unworthy and not qualified of Jesus to even be in the presence of rabbis or men. And this woman walked right up into the place, surrounded by rabbis, some Pharisaical people, comes straight to the feet of Christ, knowing that all these people know her nonsense. And then them speaking to themselves, if Jesus really was who he was, he would know who she was, and he would be letting her touch him at all. And he goes, let me ask you, I love it because I just see him saying, let me ask you a question. And he even acknowledged, yes, her sins may be great, but what she did for me is greater than what you did. Because they didn't even do the customary things that you would do when someone would come into your house. You would anoint their head with oil. You would give them water to wash their hands, their feet, and stuff like that. You would greet them with a kiss. These were all customary things. He says, you didn't greet me with a kiss, you didn't anoint me with oil, and you did not give me water. He's like, this woman has ceased to kiss me. She has ceased. She was kissing his feet. Now, I don't know about you, but you went to Africa, and you see those people wearing sandals, and you see how some people weren't wearing sandals at all. And imagine crying and washing and like.
I don't like feet either.
But she was at such a place. She was at such a desperate place. And this is the issue. She was at such a desperate place. And I hate when we make the feet of Jesus almost a shame thing, and we make it almost unattainable. Like if you stand up and you say someone walks to the altar, it is the most shameful walk. I don't know about you guys, but when I feel God calling me up there, or like I want to go up and get prayed for, I'm like, because my mind's like, all these people are going to judge me and think I'm living this horrible, sinful life, not realizing I'm just dealing with some brokenness that I don't know how to get over. And if that doesn't show you the issue with the church, that should not even be a problem. That shouldn't even be you should be able to like, yeah, that me, and walk and be confident, and everybody stand up and applaud because you made that choice. You're making that decision to walk toward and fall at the feet of Christ. But I tell people, if you're at your altar or you're at a thing, I don't really do altar calls, like unless God really presses me to do something because I'm weird with it. I believe that if you needed an altar, you can stand up, turn around, and bow down where you're at. Like if you absolutely need prayer, then come. But it's one of those things, like you can just turn around and bow down. Right where you're at, God will meet you. It's like, I'm not opposed, but I'm not an enforcer of it. I'm kind of like, if I give one, if you need prayer, come, we'll pray for you. But I usually, if that's something that you want, I always leave it up to the person because someone might be feeling that. Someone might have that drawing. But what I want people to understand is that you can go to Christ even when you've missed it, when you fell short, when you've said something, when you've done something, when you thought something. You can still go to Christ, and don't let your past, don't let the things that you've been through, don't let the things that you're going through, don't let the things that people have said keep you from having that relationship with God. Because nobody has the right to tell you that. But you get these religious fundamentalists and legalistic people be like, oh, I know your past. You're disqualified. He says, come. He says, what? All come.
Yes.
Who are what? Burdened.
Burden, yeah.
He says, everybody come.
Yes.
Anyone is welcome to come to me. Just people don't do it out of shame and guilt and condemnation. So people don't go to him. And he's the last one we run to, but we'll run to everyone else, and he's the last one. See, whenever I'm dealing with something, he is the first that I go to. If I'm still in whatever, usually he will lay someone on my heart that I need to go to, and then I'll go to that person, whether it be Josh, whether it be Gary, whether it be it was other people, but they left, so Gary or Josh. And I got my buddy Paul. I'll go to Paul sometimes if he's not busy. I'll call him up and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm dealing with, because I know I'm going to get biblical counsel. So as you see, that even when I'm struggling, I make sure I get godly counsel. It may not be the counsel I want to hear. I don't want someone to agree with me. I've gotten to a place where I don't like the agreement. I used to only go to people who would agree with me and kind of make me feel better for how I felt. And I abstained from people who would actually call me out of it. So then I finally got people in my life that would call me out of that mess. I don't like it, but I've gotten to a place now where I'm like, this is a medicine that I need. So when I'm not all right, one of the greatest things I will say that the enemy loves to do is get you in a place of isolation. When you're not doing okay, if you're not doing all right, you're struggling, you're battling, you're going through something, he likes to keep you in a place of isolation. If I can keep you isolated, you'll never get better. And I can keep just pouring into you all the things you already believe. But when you finally go to someone, you're like, man, I'm battling, I'm struggling. So if you're at a place saying, I'm not doing okay, I'm going to challenge you to reach out to someone. Someone you know you can trust. Somebody you know that's going to give you godly counsel. Someone that's not going to give you bullcrap. Someone who's going to give you biblical counsel, theologically sound counsel. Because that's the issue. We reach out, we're just reaching sometimes because we go into panic mode. Like when you're in the ocean, you're drowning, you're reaching. That's why like Coast Guards, they'll hit you and literally lay you out. Male, female, they don't care because you panic. And you'll cause them to drown because you're freaking out. So sometimes they have to give you a good old 1-2 to kind of get you to calm down. Like they're aggressive. But that's only like extreme cases of like.
Well, they're not just punching kids.
I mean, it would be awesome. Sometimes you work in a place like this. You get a little.
Are you stuck at home all day?
Huh?
Or you're stuck at home all day?
She's like 3-year-old. Swear up. No, but I'm serious, and it's like one of those things is that we just start reaching, and that's why sometimes the people we reach for is the closest thing, but that closest thing is the bad thing for us, and it makes our situation worse. And then for those who don't have that, that's why I love to have a healthy church. That's why I'm really big on growing a healthy church, because I want everyone to have someone they know that they can trust, that can build them up, that will equip them, that will encourage them, that will hold them to a standard, and that will help them. You guys gotta bear with me today, guys. I'm sorry if I'm dropping it. I'm still not feeling the best. So this is taking a lot out of me.
You
I don't
can sit if
have-
you need to.
I thought about it. today. Because I'm not really
We'll
feeling.
just adjust the camera.
I
I
thought
don't know
about it.
how, but he probably does.
I thought about getting like a little stool or something, but it's like I'm trying to keep everybody engaged. It's taking a lot.
You can keep us engaged and talk and sit if you need to. It's okay.
Yeah, this stuff.
You're not at work, like, where you're going to be in trouble for sitting for a second.
Speak up.
I don't know. I think being real is probably the best thing, because we have too many Christians that are not okay. And we have too many Christians that are taking their life or thinking about it. And I'm just going to be real for a little bit. I really feel like
That's what Jesus would do.
yeah, I'm just gonna move this and just kind of be real. No, I'm gonna just be real. There's too many people that are sitting in church thinking about killing themselves, and that should not be the case. There's too many people in church that are coming and turning to things. See, I'm not going to justify sexual immorality or fornication or sex outside of marriage. I will never justify it. I'm not going to justify it, but I am going to say this: I know people who will do it. Okay. And the only reason they're doing it is because they want to feel everything but what they feel. And that's the only time they feel accepted or loved. And that's some bull crap. That someone would be that broken that that's the only time they feel wanted. They feel attractive. They feel needed or desired. Because everything outside of that, it's hate, it's unwanted, it's rejection, it's neglection, it's abandonment. And it's like, we've gotten to a place that even if people say, I'm not okay, we also have the gossiping Bettys who will then start running their mouth based on stuff they don't know. They just heard bits and pieces, but they make a whole paragraph out of those bits and pieces and ruin someone's name. Yeah, didn't you? Yeah, I heard from so-and-so, and it's usually, I heard from so-and-so that this is what happened, that this is what was said, or this is what they're doing. But there's no evidence, fact, or basis. And then that person who's not mature in their faith or their spirit, instead of shutting it down and be like, well, we don't need to be talking about her, okay? Instead of being that person, they're like, really? Oh my gosh. And then they do what? The telephone game. And then here's someone who is having marital problems, not because of, say, her husband being unfaithful or her being unfaithful, but she can't have kids. And people running their mouth based on something that they didn't even know, it ruins someone's reputation. Like me, I tried to help a young person out not too long ago. This is actually a recent thing. I tried to help this young person out. And they, we were I would say we were fairly close. We were close enough that I felt safe and comfortable enough to give advice based on, well, they're in a relationship, male, female. Female's in a relationship. The guy shows a lot of signs of insecurity and anger. A lot of insecurity and anger. So I was just giving advice based on that. Be careful. I've been in that relationship. Possessive, controlling. You better stay out of my relationship kind of mentality. And I told him, I was like, this individual shows signs of being very insecure. When you're very insecure, it leads to things later. Like you talking to a guy, smiling to a guy. And over time, it just builds up. And the more comfortable you are with that person, the more comfortable you are with being aggressive. And then you just blame it on, well, I'm tired. When someone says, well, the reason I look angry, the reason I'm mad, the reason I'm all this is because I'm tired, you're a liar. I'm not saying that you can't be frustrated or because you're tired you get a little aggravated. But that doesn't mean that you treat people bad and you take anger out of them. No, I get it. Everyone's got a day. I'm not talking about day, but if every day is a day, or when you use the phrases, I will show everyone, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. Dude, I don't care about proving people wrong. I just want to prove God right. I just want to live for Him. Jesus never went around proving people wrong. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. We were in the gym. And one of the things I said to him, I was like, Jesus was a greater man than all of us. Because we have the power to physically, if someone comes up to us and says something, we want to fight, we want to square up, we want to do something. Someone oppresses us or does something, we want to show them, right? And here Jesus is getting literally beat the crap out of, his bones bare, his blood spilled, his bones dislocated, him disfigured. And I believe it was in Isaiah where it says that he wasn't even recognizable as a man. Okay, in Psalms it gives you a little bit of a detail of what he looked like, and then you have him on the cross. At any point in time, he could have done what?
Anything?
In John 18, if we go to John 18, it says this. It says that they came looking for him, the centurions, all those people, the legionnaires, they were coming for him, right? And they were like, he asked them, who are you looking for? They said, Jesus of Nazareth. He said, I am he. When he said, I am he, it says, and if you read it, it says they all hit the ground. These are people that do not believe in him as no Messiah. They all hit the ground. And then I love it. It says, and Judas was among them. So they all hit the ground, and then you ask the question again, who is it that you're looking for? They say, Jesus, all right. He says, well, I am he, let these men go. So at any point in time, he could have spoke a word and got himself out of that. At any point in time, he could have defended himself. At any point in time, he could have took back and be like, yeah, that one hit, and be like, nah, dog, I'm done. Like, he could have said it, and thousands of angels would have laid waste to the earth. Laid waste to it. The sun has no power when it goes supernova, according to heavenly host. And they were at his beck and call. At any time, stand ready. So here's the thing. He chose to endure the abuse. Yes, there was something that was coming out of it, salvation, redemption. Oh, I get it. But what I'm trying to show you is that the model of Christ that men, all of us should look, is if he can endure, have the power to stop it, but chose to endure, then who am I to raise myself above him? Now, that doesn't mean that he didn't hurt. That doesn't mean that there wasn't pain. That doesn't mean that there wasn't agony. That doesn't mean there wasn't suffering. But that just because we go through something doesn't mean we take it out on everybody else. Because if he did call the heavenly host, there's a lot of innocence that would have been shed too. So I just read it a minute ago, talking about how he was turned over to the sinful hands of men. So I'm just saying, like, there's certain times where we go through things, we deal with things, and the one thing I was trying to let that person know is like, hey, these are yellow flags, just be careful. And I didn't put the person out and said, be careful. The person came and tried to make a scene with me. And I'm just like, so that passive aggressive anger, and I'm not the one kind of mentality, I'm like, oh God, kid. And then, so that was the whole thing. And all I'm saying is that, like, when sometimes you see someone in danger and you want to help them, sometimes it backfires. And then the things that I said to that person, they took and twisted and told a whole different type of thing, which angered this insecure person. So this whole story wasn't actually the accurate thing that I said, because I wasn't condemning, damning, or rubbing someone's name in the ground. I was just saying, look out for these attributes and these traits, because if this person is what certain people are saying this person is, be careful. I was like, I don't know him that well, only you do. You know his heart better than I do, but based on the evidence, my experience, my interactions with him, it does line up. That's all I was saying. Because I'm very careful on just being like, he's crap. I don't do that.
Poor Gary.
Poor Gary, he's just over there with one eye. He's like, guys, got it. But what I'm saying, guys, is like, it doesn't. I've learned this. There is nothing that I can say, do. There's nothing I can buy you. There's no amount of food I can get. There's no flowers I can get. There's no stuffed animal I can get. There's no vacation. I can take you to the beach. I can do all that stuff. And in those moments, you'll have fun. But it doesn't trump what you're going through. It doesn't stop the pain. And it's like, I don't think people understand that. And a lot of Christians try to come in and be Superman. And they think like, me putting my hand on your head and praying for you is going to take all those bad thoughts away. That me lathering you up with oil and speaking in a tongue over your life is going to take all those hurts away. That's not going to happen. There's some things we have to go through and we have to endure, but we don't have to do it alone. See, that's the beautiful thing. See, we want God to be the genie to erase the pain and the problem, but we don't want him to be the person to walk with us through it. We're like, take this from me. Heal me from this. I don't want to feel this, is what we ask him. He doesn't take it, he doesn't heal us, and he doesn't do that, so then he must not love me. That's not the case. Just like you can't take away your daughter's pain when she gets her heart broken, it's the same thing. You can't take her pain, but you can nurture them through it. How great is our God to know that he says that I will be with you when you go through it. When he says that I am near the brokenhearted, that should bring comfort. That's when I remind myself, I'm like, right now I'm broken. But you said, see what I'm like, but you said, through David's lips, it is written that you are near to the brokenhearted. David wrote that down. And David knew your heart better than most people. And if he says that you are near to the brokenhearted, that you are with them, that you are present with them, that in spite of what I feel while I'm broken, you're there with me. That should bring comfort. Or when he says, when you go through troubled waters, I will be with you. See, we all are going through some troubled waters in some form or fashion. He is with us in those troubled waters. He said, I will never leave nor forsake. Even though these three are going to get old to you all, these are the three that help me stay afloat. These are the three that keep me afloat when I'm not okay. When I start getting dum-dum brain, and I start getting depressed, and I start, man, it would be better that I was dead than alive. And I start having those thoughts seep in because of my circumstances, situations, things I don't have, the health things, all the stuff that just keeps piling up on me, man. And you just get to a place you're like, God, seriously, how much more do you want to throw on me, dude? Because that's our mindset. How much more are you going to throw on me? We always blame God for the crap that falls on our life, except that just life happens. Health goes to crap. Like things unexpectedly happen. Like it's a part of life. But what do? Why are you doing this, God? We have to have something to point a finger at. Be like, there's only... Because I guess the church has done this thing that because we're Christians, it excuses us from life. It excuses us from going through stuff and mental things and emotional things and affairs and abuse and broken hearts and deaths in the children and family and all these things. Like because I'm a Christian, I'm now out of this realm. I have this special protection, special love, this special grace. That no bad, no calamity, no harm, no nothing will come against me or my family. Because I gave 10% of my money. Because I spoke in a tongue. Because I got prayed for by my pastor. Because some sister so-and-so gave me a prophetic lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because of these things, that excludes me from life. And that's what's happened in the church. So when life hits them, they're like, middle finger to God, and they leave. Because they were given this false sense of, I belong to you, so that means I'm excluded from anything. It says actually in correction. It says, count it all joy when we go through what? Various trials and tribulations. Whoa. Right now I have no joy because of this. There is no joy. I'm not waking up, oh, thank God for this colon issue and this stomach issue. Yes, I can't eat. Yes, I'm weak. Awesome. You know, that's not been my mindset. I'm like, God, you hate me. You think I'm kidding? I've said that more this week. I'm like, God, you really must not love me right now. I must have done some kind of sin. I started pulling Josh. I'm like, condemnation is coming upon me because I've done something. I had a thought I should have had. He's like, spite. We laugh because we understand. We're like, this is the judgment. All those churches are right. The wrath has come. So, but that's not the case. It's not the case. That's fundamentalist legalism. That's that whole crap that's given to us to condemn and damn us and make us feel like we're unworthy, unholy, or not good enough. So if my encouragement today would just be like, if you are dealing with something, you are going through something, for the love of God, do not do it by yourself. I'm telling you, if you have suicidal tendencies, you get to dark places, you are thinking about harming yourself, you are doing something, please reach out to somebody, go to someone's house, sleep on someone's couch. Like, I'm an advocate for people's mental health. I can be like, yeah, go pray, fast. What are some other super spiritual things? Throw away all the things in your house that belong to the devil.
Yep.
Like, this is...
Secular movies, music, can't listen to it or watch it.
Honestly, I mean, hear me out. Will you go to hell because you watch it? No. But what it is the programming that it does.
Oh, yeah.
And what you filter in. Those are it's like, will a Christian go to hell because he went and saw a scary movie or like a slasher film or a monster movie or whatever? No. You're not going to go to hell for it, but you are feeding the spirit. So it's like what you are feeding that inner man. Mm-hmm. So I am one of those that I'm not like, no, you won't go to hell for seeing it. But if it's advertising witchcraft, like I will never ever allow wicked or anything wicked in the apartment. And I know that Rebecca might have some stuff from shows she's went to, but the reason I don't want nothing affiliated with that thing is because that woman who stood on the stage, I don't know her name. It's a black girl, and she is playing Jesus Christ, and she has like these long fingernails, and she looks all demonic. And it's a bunch of transgender homosexuals that are playing Jesus and Judas and all this stuff, and they're literally middle fingering religion. And then anybody who stands against it is hating art, hating all this stuff. But I'm like, then do it to the Muslims. Why don't you take that same thing and do it to them, or to the Buddhists, or to any other religion? Go and mock their religion. Go and mock it. Go. Oh, you won't? You won't do it. No, they won't. They won't do it. They won't mock Islam. But you can say whatever you want about Christianity. You can damn that it is a person's, it is their God-given right to believe in whatever they want. You want to be a Muslim, go be a Muslim. You want to be a Buddhist, be a Buddhist. That is your decision. But I am really big on, it is not fair to hate a religion, all right? And see, if those same people that hated the religion, you take those same kind of people and you put them in Pakistan, Afghanistan, you put them in those areas, they're real quick. Because I've watched the public executions of people who were gay. Just gay. This isn't even pretending to be They killed a woman based on the fact that they were told that she threw away a Quran. And over 50-something men came and stoned her to death. The cops were trying to save her, pulled her up on a roof. I'm not lying about this. I watched it. She slipped. When she fell into it, it was over. Come to find out, they lied. The woman did not throw away the Quran. They beat her so bad, made people run her over with a car, stoned her, beat her with sticks. Her clothes were so soaked in blood, they were trying to set her on fire, couldn't do it. And then they were setting their own clothing on fire, throwing it on. Finally, when she caught fire, it came out that she was actually innocent, but they couldn't charge anybody because there was so many people. Overthrowing away a book. People stand and rip the Bible in front of everyone. No Christian does that to them. Nobody's gotten stoned for tearing up the Bible. All people are saying is don't kill babies. Okay, so there's precautions you can take so you don't get pregnant. All right, don't kill babies. That's a bad thing. Or we're not telling you what to do with your body. We're just saying we don't believe in killing babies. And if you are pregnant and if you're going to go to I watched this guy and he's like, look, we will take care of the baby. If you have this baby, we will help you. We will fund you. We will pay your bills. We will take care of your doctor. We will take care of all your medical expenses. Do not kill this child. And she went right in. He's like, we will take care of you. Our ministry will literally take care of you. And that's a bad thing. Or if you are homosexual in other countries, you're killed. Here, we're just like, turn away from your lifestyle. Repent from that. Turn to Christ because you're empty. That's why you're turning to the wrong things and fleshly desires. But God will give you a satisfaction that will go above any understanding. So it's like, that's the difference between Christianity and other religions. And then they like to use Old Testament things. Well, what about when you just slaughtered innocent, okay? God warned those Canaanites over 400 years to quit. He was patient with them for 400 years to quit killing their children and throwing them on altars. They were doing heinous things. So he told them, the Jewish people, to go and eradicate them because they were doing heinous things and they would not repent. They wouldn't. He was gracious. So when you commit holy treason, I love when Paul says that, holy treason, and you're looking at like a day and age where it's like it's okay to spit on the face of Christ, but these false prophets who were pedophiles, these men who raped women that were under the age of 8 or 9 years old, who mutilate their daughters as a practice of their law thing. They mutilate them when they're around the ages of 4, I believe. At the age of 8 or 9, they wear these little beautiful white dresses, and the little girl's mind, because I listened to a woman who came from it, she remembers everything, and it broke my heart because I could only fathom. You're this little innocent child. She said, Dad, how come the boys get to wear like different color stuff? He punched her in the face as hard as he could and said, don't you ever ask that question again. She had a clothing mishap where her ankle got shown. He married her off by the age of 14. She was raped till the age of 16. She was beaten and battered. And they'll do this. Your husband over there has the right to beat the crap out of you if you don't submit to him. You know what the Bible says? Women, submit to your husbands as unto God. Men, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Not one time does he okay it for a man to be abusive. On the contrary, my Bible says that if a man even treats his wife less than a co-heir in Christ, his prayers will be hindered. Okay, so their law says that I can beat my wife and our beds are separate. And if she repents, then we bring our beds back together. She went to the judge, and the judge said, well, maybe if you would listen to your husband. Her husband, when she was 14, was in his 40s or 50s. It was her grandmother that actually saved her and sent her to Turkey. She was a refugee in Turkey. Then she got her papers legally and came here. I think she came to Canada first. And became went there and then became a U.S. citizen. I think she's either a Canadian citizen or a U.S. citizen. But her whole story, that is, she went through detail. I'm giving you the bits and pieces. So when you spit on a religion that protects women and the sanctity of marriage and children, and that actually protects human rights in Christ, and hate on that versus religions who damn, condemn, and hurt people and wound people and treat women as if they're just an object. And nowhere in the Bible does it say women are just objects. Oh, no, no, no. They're precious to God. It's in here. So my thing is that I don't support anybody who looks like a demon, walks like a demon, talks like a demon, sings like a demon. Because that's all that we see is this great mocking and ridicule to Christ. But mark my words, that woman will meet hers. I pray that she repents. I pray that she gets on her hands and knees, that she quits trying to be loved by the elites of Hollywood, and that she repents, because I'm going to tell you something, my God is very real. And every man and every woman who mocks, scoffs, and rejects the Holy Spirit will take an account and stand before a holy triune God, will look Christ in the face, and he will look at you, and he will judge you according to righteousness that you're not imbued with because you rejected it. And he will judge you accordingly to his righteousness. That scares me. And it says that he will remove you from his sight. That when you go to hell, it's not a place he sees. You were completely removed from him for eternity. There is no redemption. There is no mercy. There is no favor. There is no grace. There is no forgiveness. There is no second chance, third chance, fourth chance. How many chances do we get from the time that we understand Jesus to the time that we close our eyes and we die? We can't say, but you didn't. But the issue is, it's hard to come to a Jesus when all the churches look like the world. It's hard to see a true God and a true Christ when all the churches, you can't tell the difference from the world and from... When half of them teach about more money and finances so they can get jets and planes and live lavishly, they want to preach that side. And you occasionally might get a few good scriptures about, like, making it, overcoming something, which I'm okay with. You need to be encouraged. You need to be encouraged. I'm a little bit different than most ministers. I'm really big on let's walk out character, let's start working on these things. And it's not that I don't like to encourage. I just know that if we work on these things, it leads into that part that we need the encouragement for. But it doesn't take away that if we need encouragement, then let's get encouraged. Because I want to build up the church. My issue is that we're allowing certain things to come in, and it's like I don't really see, and every Christian that stood up and said that was evil and wicked got martyred for it. They got pretty much made fun of, or they got like, oh, you're a hater, but it's like, but this is my faith. You're literally crapping on my faith. Aslan, I think it's his name, what is it called? The wardrobe?
Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. So they're changing him into a female. And a lot of Christians got upset and everything like that. And
Is it the author Christian?
yeah, because he
It's
was
known as a Christian
and
author,
he made
right?
Yes.
he made the lion a male. He used he him pronouns and like his and stuff. All right. So he's a male. He was supposed to be a representation of Jesus.
Yes.
He was supposed to be Jesus. But we're taking Christ and we're making him into a female. We're making him into a woman. We're taking his gender and it's like, and everyone is okay with this. And that's why, like, it's okay to crap on Christianity, but do not mock the alphabet religion or Muslims or anything else, because it's a religion. It is. Yeah. If you don't believe in them, if you don't confess what they believe, if you don't acknowledge what they are, if you don't agree with their stance on things, then you're a bigot, you don't love, and you're closed-minded, and you're hating, and you're full of hate, and you're all these things. That's the truth. It's a religion. If you don't submit to it, then you're going to die. They'll cancel you. You have to believe in the way they believe. You have to agree. You cannot question it. Yeah. So I mean, that's what our world is turning into, and it's like it's hard to be a Christian when you're in a world like that and you're constantly being hurt. Which is why that I drive home so much about like how we should conduct, how we should act, because you're going to face people like this, and if you don't have godly character and have yourself in control and keep your mind focused on Christ, when you endure something like that, or you come in contact with someone like that, you're going to operate in your flesh. You're going to speak, because anger will cause you to get unrighteous real quick. Anger will cause you to step out of your pretty much your character. So that's why even when I was addressing old dude and he was coming and getting kind of aggressive and being kind of like, this is what you're going to do. I'm like, no. Which I'll tell you more about it when we get off. But one of those things is like, it was starting to make me unrighteous. I was starting to be like, all right, let's throw hands. Like it was stirring up an unrighteous anger. All right. And one of the things that the enemy loves is getting us out of our character and proving everyone right. Because it's like I told Xavier the other day, I was like, being in ministry or in ministry, you're always under a magnifying glass. Like, so everyone's like this with your life, but not with their own. Everybody wants to see the man of God miss it, fail it, because we're supposed to be the ones that are so perfect and walking out such a perfect life. But I'm going to tell you something, even Paul had flaws. Even Paul had struggles. Even Paul had, it doesn't mean that he loved sin and he was indulging in sin. But it doesn't take away that as he was in the flesh, he did have human struggles. Now today we have more advertising for more sexual things, more like eye lust and eye candy. All right, we have more issues with that than they did in that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really bad. But yeah, it's like I just think that we have to really conduct ourselves, which is why I teach the way that I teach and I preach the way that I preach. That's why it's like I like to encourage people, but at the same time, I know it's like if we don't get this in us and instilled in us, and we don't get the character of Christ, I stumbled upon this because I like rereading things. So sometimes I'll go through New Testament and just read it or bounce around. But I read something I thought was really, really interesting, and you guys can read it, see what you think. I'll tell you where it's at. It's Colossians chapter 1. Verse 15. It's a really neat little passage that I stumbled upon. So it says this. This is the centrality of Christ, right? It says, He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For everything was created by Him in the heavens and on earth, the visible and the invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers, authorities, all things have been created through Him and for Him. He is before all things, and by Him all things hold together. He is the head of the body of the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that we might have come to have first place in everything. For God was pleased to have all His fullness dwell in Him, and through Him to reconcile everything to Himself, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through His blood shed on the cross. And then it goes in, once you were alienated by hostiles in your mind as expressed in your evil actions, but now He has reconciled you by His physical body through His death, to present you holy, faultless, and blameless before Him. So without Christ, you are fault. You are with fault. So, but with Christ, you are wholly faultless and blameless before him. If indeed you remain grounded and steadfast in your faith and are not shifted away from the hope of the gospel that you heard. The issue is we don't hear gospel. The gospel has been proclaimed in all creation under heaven, and I, Paul, have become a servant of it. So I love that, and the reason I love it is because it gives this thing of who Christ is. It gives this kind of like an overall who he is, what he is. It's like a real simple but really powerful thing. A lot of people overlook these simplistic stuff, these little nuggets. I find that a little nugget. The thing is that we have been made alive through Christ. We are free, we are delivered, but that doesn't mean that you ain't going to have struggle. That doesn't mean that you ain't going to have problems. But if you cleave to God, and you at least have one godly friend in your corner, I'm telling you, that's how I'm still standing. That's how I'm still standing. I know from personal experience, there's not a day that I don't wake up that I want to give up and I want to quit. There's not a day that I want to walk away and I don't want to wash my hands. And it's not of Christ. Believe it or not, it's not of God. It's of ministry stuff. Because sometimes we get in our head and we're like, what's the use? And we dealing with all this stuff and everything, and it's just like, this is so hard, this is so difficult. It's so hard to push through. It's so hard to get to that next place. It's like no matter how hard I pray, Jamie, I can't seem to get a breakthrough. No matter how much I read, it's just not there. I just feel like I'm reading empty words. It's like I feel like I'm pushing up against a wall and I can't, there's nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you're praying and you're reading and it feels like you're pushing against a wall and like you just can't like spiritually get past this place. Well, sometimes I've learned this. Sometimes we try to get to a place we're not ready or prepared for. And the place that we're at is exactly where you're at, which is why you feel the wall. Because God's like, I need you to stay here until you learn what I need you to learn, until you grow into the thing that I've called, until you're happy, until you find peace.
It's not your time. You're trying to walk into 10 years ahead of time. Instead of taking the time to grow that 10 years.
Sometimes we don't enjoy the journey because the journey sucks sometimes. And those sucky parts in our journey, we're like, can we skip this part? Can we get to a good chapter? Like where all the doves and angels like fly on my shoulder.
We're a pole wall. I want to pull out over that.
A little naked baby cherub is like flying around, shooting you with little love arrows. Like life is better. No, it's like rain clouds, thunderstorms, thistles, thorns, little demons poke you with a pitchfork. Is what it feels like sometimes. Yeah, go ahead and kill that.